Okay. Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the Cutting Edge with Damaris. It's another Sunday. It's another day that the Lord has made, and I'm excited to be here today. So to start us off, just basically my general house announcements. I am now on YouTube, so please follow me at the Cutting Edge with Damaris on YouTube, and of course we're still on Facebook with my name, Damaris Akanji. And if you have any questions, any comments, anything you'd like us to improve on the show, we do have an email address, okay? And the email address is showing up on your screen right now. There we go, which is the Cutting Edge 21. Remember, the Cutting Edge is without the G, okay? At gmail.com for your questions, for your comments, for any stories you'd like us to discuss or share about. Please put that there in the email. Also, if you want to contact me for any other sort of information or questions, you can feel free to contact me through that place. Okay, so now that I'm done with all of that, we can get straight into the business of today. So today, guys, God of mercy, I have a very special. I have two very special people with us today. God, I never believed that they'll be on my show, but here we are. Okay. And I want to say welcome to, I call them auntie and uncle, so I don't know how we're gonna do it. But they remain my mommy G.O., daddy G.O. Oh my God. I'm here to welcome honestly and specially Mr. and Mrs. Folabi to the show. Thank you so much for being here today, Auntie Anne and Uncle Tim. I'm
Thank you
very excited
so
to have
much.
you guys.
We're glad to be
Yeah,
here. Thank you for inviting us.
they are amazing people, and I've been thinking about what exactly this particular topic we're going to be talking about has been on my mind. I mean, I've talked about it with people. People have talked about it with me. They've shared their concerns with me about the topic we're going to be talking about today. But before I start talking about all of that, I'm going to let them properly introduce themselves to you. They'll tell us what they do, and they'll tell us how long they've been together, and we can move on from there. While they're doing that, I'll be sharing, obviously. Please feel free at this point to share the links. Let your friends know that we are online. Okay, so you're very much welcome, dear Falapis.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Damaris.
much. God bless you.
Bless you more. So please introduce yourselves. We want to know you a bit
Who
more.
first?
Tell us.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Okay.
My name is Hannah Ojo Chenemi Folabi.
Wow.
Yes. I'm from Kogi State. I'm Igala, but married to a Yoruba man from Ogbomoso.
My God.
All right. I work with FCT Universal Basic Education Board as an admin officer.
Awesome. Oh wow, amazing.
So what
Okay.
else?
Please
All right,
how long have you been married? Yeah.
my name is Tim Folabi,
Okay.
and I'm an IT expert. I'm also a sales consultant, and I for IT with bias of security, internet
Okay.
security, cyber security. I'm also a sales consultant. I presently work as a sales consultant with a company named Lions Info System. Um, so, like you said, I'm from Ogbomoso. I also attend by God's divine leading First Baptist Church, Garki, Abuja, and we've been
Yeah.
together for marriage. We've been together for a little over 3 years, but
Wow.
for a relationship or friendship, I think we've been together for over 7 years, maybe 8 years or thereabout.
Jesus Christ.
Close
That's
to 10
a
years.
long
Close to 10 years, yeah.
time. Sorry. That's a long time. Wow, that's amazing. And you're both
Yeah.
officially welcome. Please, if you are in the room watching either on Facebook or YouTube, please say hello at this point. Let me know you're in so I can acknowledge and recognize you. Okay. 7 years. My Jesus. How did this happen? How come it took you 7 years to know that you wanted to transition from, there to where you are now?
Well, the truth was that we met in church. We met serving the Lord. And first, I want to state it clear that we met in the church and we went close in the first place. I was minding my business. She was minding her business. And as a matter of fact, when we got, what brought us close was transport. At that time, I wasn't mobile, she wasn't mobile. So it was, and for those who stay in Abuja, you know what the distance between Kubwa and Garki is. So most times, because we close late from church, either rehearsals or any church program, we most times like look up to some of our church members to maybe get us a lift to Cuba. Those sometimes drop us along the way, some bring us to Cuba. So it was in that process that we met. And after a while, we got connected again in the youth fellowship. And it just started from there. We became friends, just friends with no strings attached, just serving God together. And that was it. You want to say
Okay.
something?
So the first time you guys actually met, sorry, the first time you met was in church. And what
Yeah.
actually kind of made you, so did you know her before the whole transportation? Like, had you seen her before? Or was it transportation that made you realize that, oh, there's a lady called Anne? Or do you get what I mean? Like, did you know about her before? Had you heard about her before?
I really didn't know about her because I'm not going to talk so much about this, but at the time I moved totally or finally to Abuja because I was shuttling at some point. At the time I settled in Abuja, I was in the middle of a relationship crisis, so I didn't even want to see any lady. I just wanted to mind my business. So I really
As
was minding my business in the media department, not really minding anybody. So I think the first time we really got to communicate was and that I really noticed her was the transportation that joined us together.
okay, let's hear from her.
Yes. And what he was, he's right as per what he said. It was transportation. I remember, well, I noticed that there was someone in media. You understand?
Fantastic.
I used to see him with the camera, but I
Okay.
don't even know his name. And I think one of the days that we now had to follow a member from the church, both of us now, you know, just met in
In the car.
the car. So
Uh,
subsequently, I now told him that so he stays in Cuba. If that is the case, that there's a man that gives me lift on Sundays.
Yes, Sunday mornings.
Sunday mornings, or it's just that the man leaves 6 a.m. That if he can make it, he can also talk to the man so that it can save the transport. So some days, if he's able to make it, that was how he started joining, and then the transport issue, and we got talking.
Okay, all right. So at this point, let me just say hi to Eben. Welcome to the show. Hi, Winnie. You're welcome. I hope you're doing well. Hi, Mr. Godfrey. I hope you're doing well. Hi, Ayomide as well. Welcome, everyone. If you are just joining us, you are welcome, welcome. I do apologize. I have a bit of a cold, so you can hear that a bit in my voice. But don't let that distract you from the glory that is about to happen here, okay? Because we have to learn, guys. So if you are in the room and you're just coming in, you're welcome. Our guest couple for today is Mr. and Mrs. Ann and Tim Folabi. So you guys are welcome again. And they're just telling us a little bit about how they met. So guys, this basically says that you can meet your partner in church, okay?
Yeah.
Because there's this philosophy said that, I don't want to date someone in church. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone in church, because if I'm in a relationship with someone in church, everybody is on our matter. Everybody wants to be in our business. Everybody wants to know what is happening. Everybody wants to know who is getting married, who isn't getting married, and all of that. And I want to ask you guys at this point, did you guys feel like people were getting themselves involved in your relationship? Like, when did you guys' relationship become public, basically? Because when I met you, Mr. Tim, I didn't know nobody around you, okay? He was on fire for Jesus, okay? Looking straight ahead. And obviously, I had already known Sister Anne as well. And I knew them separately. So, when I heard, I was like, huh? How did this happen? Genuinely, but I saw the beauty in it. But I feel like I got to know a little later. I think you guys are sort of, had gone quite far in your relationship. So before we go into that part, let me not jump the gun. So you guys were doing the whole transportation thing. So
Yeah.
who's on first? How did the Holy Spirit get involved in this case? Like, what brought about your friendship? How did the friendship start? And then when did you get to the point where you guys realized, oh, I think this is a bit more than friendship. We should take this to another level. Yeah. Anyone can
Sincerely,
start. Yeah.
just like we said, the friendship, with the transportation, this thing, it was once we just meet, maybe Sundays or youth fellowship. After closing, everybody finds his or her way, nothing. And then with time, then youth fellowship. I remember most time, maybe after youth fellowship, hi, then we got close, no string attached, as in share prayer points. Then I was youth fellowship
Yay!
prayer
They shared prayer
secretary.
points, though. That's how it starts, guys. It starts with
I was
prayers.
youth fellowship prayer secretary. So he
Okay.
would just tell me some things that, sister, I would like you to join me in praying for so things and all those things. So there
Yeah.
was nothing. We're just, the usual closeness. I am this type of person that I have more of male friends than female friends. You
Okay.
understand? So it was just, as in, we became friends from, like, was it 2013 or 2014? 2013, 2014. And this whole relationship issue started in 2016.
Oh, wow.
You
Okay.
understand now? So it's
Okay.
just because, just like he said, he was having relationship and there were crises. I was also involved in relationship. So you can see that there was nothing like I'm expecting this person to date me, because I was also in a relationship that time, even though it didn't eventually work. So it was
Mm,
just like friendship and all those things. Funny enough, even that period, we were sharing some of the challenges we were having with our relationship and praying for each other, you understand? So that was the main issue of I'm beginning to see this person, this sister, all started in 2016. Everything before then was just the normal friendship, nothing else.
Okay,
okay.
maybe
Yeah.
to add to that,
Yeah.
like you said, when we met in youth fellowship, it was even far from I had this notion that this sister, she's just my friend, cannot go beyond that. And like I said, the relationship issues, she had her relationship issues. In short, we're patching it, we're thinking it was going to work out. At some point, if I must tell you, at some point, I was even telling her in church that, okay, I had this person, I have there's this person I had in view.
And I
Can
was
we
trying to do
and
connection for
and she was
him.
trying to
Oh
actually
my
connect
God.
and all that, trying to make inquiries. But one of the things that
Yeah.
made it very easy for us, I won't mention his name. One of our departed brothers, like my very 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 good brother died about 2 years ago. We all connected when he eventually came to Abuja, and we had this prayer group that God just led in my heart, and I shared it with her. We added Wilson and a few other people in church to it. I think we're about 5 or 6. So we just had burden for the church. We're praying for ourselves, spouses. We never hide ourselves, and that was what we were just doing. So we were just doing it from a plain heart. I never knew it was even going to lead to where we are today. And here we are. It's a little over 3 years, and we give thanks to God.
Hallelujah. Come on.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Glory to God. Okay, so hi, Pastor Success. Hi, Mrs. I think she's Mrs. now. Yeah, she's Mrs. Ojana. And hi, Kayode. I will please send me a message after the program. I hope everything is okay with you. I believe that God will be with you, and whatever it is, we'll be able to sort it out. Okay, so we're praying, we're looking up to God, we're spending time with Jesus, we're going on our knees. Obviously, I'm aware of this program you guys are talking about. There's worshiping involved. You guys at some point, actually, were you guys, no, so you were in media first before you joined the choir. Is that correct,
Yes.
sir? Okay,
Yes.
so let me, like I said, I keep dropping the call. Let me come back. Okay, so while all this prayer and everything was going on, obviously your relationships didn't work out. So when did it happen? When did you realize that there was now a change in your friendship? Obviously, it wasn't something I'm guessing you guys were expecting. So how did that sort of happen? And how did God come into play in this conversation?
Okay. I think I'll go first. It was somewhere at the end of 2015, stroke early 2016, and after this distance we're talking about between maybe 2013, 14, 15, 16, 14, 15, 16. I'd seen other people that probably I probably was interested in, not probably that I was interested in, and
Yeah.
I just felt okay. I made up my mind long time ago that I wasn't going to go into a relationship that was going to cause me pain in the long run. When I mean that, I at the time was AS, and most of those that came along were AS also. So for me, it was a no, 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 no. And while praying and trusting God, I just began at some point. I just began to look at it that okay, like our people will say that what you are looking for in Sokoto is just within the reach of your Sokoto.
Yeah.
So I just started looking at it that some of the, we all have maybe qualities you're looking for in the lady you want to marry. And I was like, this lady actually fits into most of the things that I actually like in a woman. She's God fearing. She's somebody that I've found to be my friend. We share everything with ourselves, and she also is selfless. And she is one of my friends. She said she has more male friends, but those that knew me from long ago know that I also have more female friends than male friends. I have very trusted few male friends, but I'm also the easygoing type. I think that was how we could easily click. And from there, I started praying about it. Then also, when people see you close to a lady or a lady close to a guy, they begin to insinuate. So for a lot of people, when our relationship eventually started, a few people said to our faces, though, that we were lying to them all the while for the past 2 years, for the past 3 years. And it was hard to convince people that it wasn't a lie. And for me, when I tell you it's not a lie, you feel I'm lying. I just leave you to God. I'm not answerable to you. I'm answerable to God. But here we are before man and God, and we're saying that when the relationship started, a lot of people thought it had started long before. Some of my friends, even when they meet her, they'll be like, what are you guys waiting for? at that time we never had anything like a relationship in view, just friendship. She's just my friend. That's what you people used to say and all that. So at the time, the whole thing started making sense. After having a whole lot of, I think, a few disappointments, then the AS thing, it looked like when I set out that, okay, I like this person, and by the time you make your inquiries, one of the things I started doing that I usually did not do before was, by the time I'm very close to a lady, I begin to, the lady might not realize, but one of the things I get to know in the first few times of talking is, what is your genotype? I do the research in a way that she wouldn't understand. So most times when the person just tell me it's AAS, I just begin to just cut off. There's no prospect here. So we
Yeah.
didn't even talk about with her. We never even talked about that until later, when, okay, I think I even knew we had to. You said we needed to do something, and I needed to fill some information for her, that had to do with blood group and all that. And I knew that she was AA when I started considering. So for me, that was a soft landing, but I wasn't even clear about that. I had to also pray about it, because the language barrier, as in the tribal intertribal thing, also was something I needed to think about. I needed to know, okay, to look at it. Would I really want to go into this, or maybe I want to? People will say ajabriki. Do I want to apply some break? But
Yeah.
in it all, I must confess, I had to seek counsels with some of I have three able, trusted friends. Two of them are outside of Abuja, one of blessed memory. And I shared with them, we pray about it, and they will say their own part. At some point, one of them, in short, all of them told me that, what are you waiting for?
To
We
be
we don't
honest,
really,
like,
yes, we really don't need to pray so much about this. And when we actually
mm,
prayed, there was a positive vibe from every of this. I had to submit it to some of our pastors also, and there was a go ahead, and it was. I know you're going to ask this, but it wasn't very hard. It wasn't very hard to propose eventually, because even the day I said it, it was like I was joking. She didn't take me serious, because it wasn't the usual. It was in the place of our discussion and talking. I think that very day, before she says her part, that very day, I remember we were supposed to go to church, or maybe she wanted to go to church for something. I wasn't interested in going to church that day, and she was like, please take me to church, please drive me to church. I was like, okay, I'll go on one condition. And before that time, I'd been saying it jokingly, but she never took me serious. So I now held her to ransom that day, that, okay, you must give me an answer. Will you marry me? That's the only condition that will make me take you to church. Would you marry me? And she was like,
fantastic.
are you kidding? She said no. And I said, if you don't give me an answer, we're not going to go to church today. And I meant it. So she just said it, whether it was really from her heart. She was like, okay. She was like, okay, yes, and all that. And that was how it started. And she still thought I was joking afterwards. But that was actually where it started from. Let me give her some time so that I will not just eat all of the time
No,
up.
absolutely. Please.
He has said most of the thing. Like we said earlier on, the relationship was just friendship, nothing attached to it, and eventually, so like he said, he would just come jokingly and just say, you are my wife. I will now burst into that and say, me. In fact, there was a day I told him, I said, I can never marry somebody like you. And he was like, why? That this is serious, so that the way I'm close to him, that if I say this thing before people, they will start suspecting that there's something about him.
I'm a
That why
terrible
will
person.
I say that I can never? I say I can't marry. The only thing we can just be friends. So that particular day, just like he said, that I was begging him to take me to church, to use his car to drive me, that I was late already, and he was like, on the condition that today I will tell him yes, that I will marry him. And I'm busted into that. I said, what kind of condition is it? I thought he was even joking. I said, in fact, I don't marry you already. You understand? And I said, so he now said, okay. And And before you know it, you know, like, I wasn't joking. As far as I'm concerned, you have said yes. I said, how can you say I've said yes to you? That is not how to
Did
propose.
you say yes?
That is not, and I say, is that how
Is
to
that
propose
how to
to a woman?
propose? Yep.
To a woman, now say that there's nowhere that is written that you must do it this way, do it this way. That you just don't say, I have sha told you my mind. It's left for you now to go and pray about it.
And I left it there.
And he left it there. So when I saw the way he started behaving and all those, anytime this you say, you shall know you are my wife, I'm waiting for you, and all those things. That is
Nice.
you I'm waiting for now. So I took it up from there in terms of prayer. And there's something I really want to emphasize, that there are some people that say, I'm going to pray. Maybe they already have their answers in their hearts. You really need to pray. Yes, for me, I know there are a lot of things God told me about my marriage. You understand? So when he came, you know, it's like every guy that comes to say, okay, is this person that will align with what you are telling me, God? And from there, I got my conviction, and the whole thing now kicked off. So,
Amazing. What have
yeah,
we learned so far in the last sort of 20 minutes is one, I guess the aspect of prayer cannot be overemphasized. I mean, you guys have
yeah,
Sure.
mentioned prayer in this whole conversation, and I like the honesty of your relationship in the sense that you're very honest. You just you knew what you wanted and you went for it. A lot of guys, they still want to, and I love the consultations that you had. But one of the things I like about your consultations was you weren't just asking anybody. You were asking people that have been in your life for a while, where you guys have a
yeah,
relationship, where you've been then they gave you good advice. Do you get what I mean? You even took it a step further by involving a pastor or pastors about it, which I think is really, really important. And very few guys tend to do that. A lot of guys, they kind of just, I like you, let's just kind of do it. So the fact that you were able to take out time to pray, it makes me feel like guys should take note of this. That it's nice to obviously like someone, but your conviction is important, and
yeah,
that's one of the
Yeah.
things that I really like about what you said, ma'am. Is the fact that you said, you know what, even though you may have liked him inside your heart, you may have thought, he fitted the bill. But I appreciated the fact that you felt that you also needed to be convinced, because the truth is, now within the marriage, there are going to be a lot of things that you must have experienced and will experience that will even sort of help you to know or have peace that you made this right decision, you were convinced by God. So that is amazing. Okay, so to the part that is sort of it's a bit delicate, and it's a bit what do we call it? It's a bit delicate and it's a bit personal, but it's also something that I have to dive into, because a lot of my friends now are, and a lot of people that I know that talk to me a lot about this particular area are a bit much older than me. So obviously, you guys know that I'm not 30 yet. You guys, I'm not 30 yet, but I am in my late 20s now. Surprisingly, I feel so old. They said I'm in late 20s now, but and there's this thing of, once you pass 25, in fact, once you get to 30 and you're not married, there's something wrong with you. I know a lot of women that are currently depressed, okay, by this situation. A lot of women that think that, some women, they've not been able to even forge ahead with their lives. They've got so much potential, they've got skills and abilities that they can do, but I'm not married. That's what is going on with them. And I know that you guys, I'm not too sure about brother Tim, but I'm very sure that but I think you guys, I don't know if you guys are about the same sort of age range, but I know that you guys kind of got married a little older. And I wanted to say, did you guys get any sort of pressure, saying that you're overdue, time is ticking, which is why I called this, TikTok, and love, time is ticking. Where's your love at? Where's the marriage at? Where's the relationship at? Did you guys go through this issue? Thank you so much, Alayinka Bayomi, for saying that I'm still a baby. I wish the whole world agreed with you. Thank you so much. But yeah, so Obviously I know you guys got married, and you guys were a bit more sort of mature in comparison to if you were like 21 or 22. So did you guys go through any sort of pressure, and how were you able to overcome that in your singleness to be able to focus on making sure that you weren't just making any mistake by just dating anyone and by just marrying anybody?
Well, let me come in first. Yes, I want to establish that there's pressure, but it depends on you as an individual if you allow it. Sometimes, for me, there was no pressure from my parents. I have loving parents that kept encouraging me, like, don't let the issue of marriage weigh you down. Don't let anyone talk you into like you are late and all those things. So for my parents, no pressure. But I had friends that were like, some married that were just like they're swallowing Panadol for my headache. Then another place you get pressure, the truth of the matter, is from church members. For us as ladies, I'm this type of blunt person, and I will give few examples. Like, okay, for me, as a single person, I got married. Let me say, yes, I was far above 35. You understand? So I also want to quickly chip in that for someone that is already 25, 29, they will think they are already late. So the issue of lateness is human beings that define it. It depends on individual. If you come to me and say, hey, I got married at 32, I married late, I will laugh because I got married far. Yes, as far as I'm concerned, you were not late. So you see, it's an individual thing.
Yeah.
Now, so coming back to the issue of pressure, you have friends that are like, hey, you never marry, nobody they come, and all those things. And like I was discussing with my husband, there were some people I had to keep off from, because anytime they pick their phone to call me, it's like, Hannah, how far? Anybody there? Hey, this person don't marry. And before you know it, we are human beings. You start thinking, God, what have I done? What is going on? So in such situation, I stylishly said cutting off from such friends because I don't want to be under pressure. Then you have some people, like women especially, when they see you say, my daughter, what is happening? What is going on? They are not your parents, so in the name of their concern, they'll just be disturbed. I had some women, in fact, I had a particular experience here in Abuja in the church, that a woman called me. I came to church, she now called me, say, where have I been? I said, I've been sick. And the next thing she said that I'm growing lean. She now called, said she was going to talk to my legal advisor, that she should talk to me, that I'm growing thin because I'm thinking about marriage. Do you
What?
understand? I'm serious. And I was sure. At a point, I was like, hey, are you sure I will not change church? Because this one, that if I feel sick, they think it's because. So such people put pressure on you, knowingly or unknowingly. Then I have some people that
Yeah.
anytime there is a wedding, as a church choir member, when they see you, they will run to you. They say, is it Iria Carrier in Yoruba that your head, this celebration will come to you? And
Oh my
I noticed a particular woman that every
god.
time there was wedding in church, she walks up to me. And a day I summon courage. She'll just tell me, Hannah, your own day will come. You understand? So there was a day I told her, I said, Mommy, my day has already come. You have not seen it. So just go and be. I told her,
Hi.
and it ended. That was the last day that woman greeted me that way. So you understand, pressure is, if you allow it, you are the one that will put yourself under pressure. If you notice people that pressurize you, you find a way of attacking it and resolving it. Those you need to cut off from, you cut off from completely. And those you need to call them to address them. Those you cannot address, you look for people that are close to them and say they should please help you talk to this person. That there's nothing like one is late. Our times are in the hands of God. That's one word God gave me that kept me going. My times are in his hand. There's nothing like my biological clock is clicking, is going, or whatever. It's God that determines one's biological clock. So people, and most time when people talk about this biological clock, is because they feel once you are in a particular age, you can't give birth. Life from the pit of hell. is all about God. Don't let anyone put you under pressure. That is it.
Wow.
All right,
Wow.
can I add?
Wow.
Can I add to that?
Please, please. And we're
All right,
learning
she
here.
she has actually said a lot. The truth
Yeah.
is that um, for me, I categorize pressure into two categories. And the
Okay.
first one is the external pressure, and the one is the pressure, like she said, from yourself, the internal pressure. Now, she has said so much about the external pressure. And for me, for those who know me very well, um, people don't know that I'm a very, very playful person. I can be very playful, but I'm very playful with those that can accommodate me in that realm. There was a time that
Yeah.
somebody told me that you are too playful, so you cannot even get a wife to marry. And I just smiled about it and just let it slide. But
Wow.
on the other hand, I'm a very straightforward person, and I can be very, very stern and strict. So for like some of the things you talked about, that people come to you, your time is going and all that. For people, when they meet me on my very straight day, you won't even want to come and ask me that question again, because I will tell you straight that you are not my God. My times are not in your hands. So a lot of things actually put pressure on us. Like, okay, there's another word God gave me many years ago, and because even when it came to the things of academics, at some point I had a lot of years of delays before getting into the university. And most of my childhood friends, some of them at the time I was entering the university to go into to study pre-degree, or come in through pre-degree. That was when some of them were graduating. So when that started bothering me, God told me something, and the story is a little long, so I'll not paint the picture or tell the story, but I'll just
Yeah.
tell you the lesson God told me afterwards. God told me that what you feel your friends have gone ahead to achieve before you. He said, he told me clearly, and I heard it. He said that you will not only catch up with them, you will outrun them. And
Yeah.
that testimony stands today, because some of them even started working before me, and I know where some of them are today, and I know where God has helped me to be. So those are some of the things that guided me, even in my marital journey. So when we allow people pressurize us, people actually do pressurize us, like she said, and I really want to hammer on that. A lot of times, people, elders in church, people that feel they care in church, they need to be very, very careful about the way they talk to young people. There are people that probably want to open up to you, and you just say a word and they just draw into their shell. And even when they go ahead to start following the wrong path, eventually you won't be able to easily track them down and win them back to God. So it is very essential. Some people, and we see, I make bold to say it, some of these people that face you in church, we know what their children are doing, we know where their children are at. They don't talk to their children, and they come because they feel that maybe your own parents are not in the same church. They feel they have that authority over you. And because you don't want to be rude, because you're cultured from home, you don't want to be rude to some of them. You don't want to tell them, see what your children are doing. But there are times that you need to really stand firm. While not being rude, you need to tell them to their faces, please keep praying. Do your own due diligence in the place of prayers, and don't weary my life with some of these questions. And I want to also talk a little about you pressuring yourself. Like my wife said, maybe let me just give you a kind of average of both of us. Maybe at least if you do an average of our age, we were more than 37 years old, as an average of both ages. We are more than 37 when we got married. So maybe between 37 tending to 40, if you do an average of our age. That was what we were when we got married. And at that time, for us, most of our friends, though a few had not gotten married, but most of our friends had gotten married. As a matter of fact, there's a friend of my wife that got married. Our daughter is presently in the university and all that. I have a lady I was in secondary school with. You do might say that's a lady. Our daughter is maybe in 200, 300 level in the university presently. So sometimes when you see some of those things, I pity. Sometimes I don't want to use the word pity. I also let me say I feel concerned for most especially for the ladies, because I've seen people being pressured. We have had personal counseling with people, and you see how people just ridicule them. Some for some, it's even their biological parents. It's their older ones. Some their friends that have gotten married. They flash some of these things in their faces,
Your
and
faces.
you understand. And somebody is talking to you, not being sensitive of what you're going through. He's saying, "Yes, my son, my daughter, my husband, my this, my that, my that," and you don't know what effect. I'm not saying you should not share good news, but there are times that if that's the only thing you want to just center around, then you are also trying to hurt the other person. My wife shared a story with me, and I think we still talked about it this afternoon. I'll just paraphrase it. One of the things is sometimes when you go into, maybe you go for alumni what's it called, gatherings,
Yeah.
all the social gatherings, reunions, and some of your friends, maybe who married earlier, bring their family and all that. And sometimes some pastors, men of God, evangelists, they don't help matters. You go for single programs, you see somebody who is over 30, in their 40s or close to 40s, they just carelessly say, if you're more than 30, if you're more than 40, stand up. And sometimes you feel they just want to pray for you. They say some very careless things as far as I'm concerned. And it keeps that person so much degenerated than encouraged from the programs. And that's why when you call for singles programs, you don't get people who, in our own estimation, are late to get married. Like my wife said, for me, the Bible says that for God, 1,000 years is like an evening gone. So
Mm.
who told you that my time has gone? You can marry at 21. And what even makes us feel that we're in charge of time? I've seen people marry very early and up to date, maybe they're in their 50s, they're in their 40s, they're in their 30s. What they were craving for, some people marry because of children. They don't still have the children up until now. They are still looking for children. You see, we have had testimony, even in a Baptist family, we have had people that got married, and for years, you see a woman giving birth to a child at almost 60 years old. Who says you are late? Or who puts you in that box of time is going? So for somebody to say time is going, is that person your God? Has that person have the final say over your life? So time is not of essence when it comes to this, because God is in charge of time. So in a nutshell, I want to say that um, if we let people dictate the way we think about life and go about our life's relationship, then we will not get the best of our lives. So what I want to say is that enjoy your life serving God and enjoying yourself while you are waiting.
Mm. Come on. I feel like we should just share the grace and fellowship. Is there anything else we want to say? That is so true and that is so profound. I want to read something that someone said, because this is something actually that has happened to me
Okay.
before. She says, people will come to you with talks like, your own day will come. When are we expecting an invitation? When are you getting married? And other stuff. When you stand up to them to shun them, they will say you're bitter, who don't want to hear the truth. All these things happen once you're above 27 and unmarried as a lady. I think that's absolutely true. I must be very honest with you that there is external pressure, especially from church members, from even people outside of church.
Yes.
There are people that deal with this pressure every day, and you'll be shocked at how
Aunties,
people have gotten married because of the pressure,
Compressed.
rather
Yeah.
than conviction, rather than I truly love this person, I truly believe that God wants me to be with this person. versus, oh, your time is running out and things like that. So I wanted to ask you guys a question. While you guys were in a relationship, did people know at first? Because I know you said, oh, when you eventually got into a relationship and people knew. No, what I mean is when you were now in the relationship, did people know? And when I say people, I mean plus church, plus people outside of church. And the question is, did you guys receive pressure as a couple, like you guys should get married now? I'm now talking about a collective thing. You know, we've been talking sort of individually, but as a couple together, did you guys ever get people calling you to say you guys need to do this now? And what was sort of like your response to them in that moment?
Well, for us, immediately the whole relationship started officially. It's like the whole, hell was let loose. We had, as in, serious crisis. Some of these, they are not things, that one is talk for another time. But
Yeah.
in fact, I think our own relationship was announced through the crisis we went through.
Wow.
So it was through the crisis that some people now knew that, okay, some knew officially were dating, some like, we knew they've been dating for over a year, they are just lying and all those things. You understand? And so
Mm,
because of the issue on ground, there was not much pressure like get married now from on our part. Rather, it was like, you people sure this relationship, God is in it? So it was opposite, it's opposite of the question. I was like, are you people sure God is in it? You people should better find your way. You people should scatter. This relationship is not meant to be. Yeah, so ours was not like go and get married. Now it was more of, so our relationship was announced through the crisis to many people, even though when it became official, those people that were like we had our pastor friends and our own close friends that we had to inform that, okay, we are dating officially now. You understand? We informed our
yeah.
parents, our family members. But with the crisis that came thereafter, the issue of getting married immediately had to be on hold until the whole issue was
Calm
resolved
down.
and all those stuff. So the issue of the pressure of getting married now was not there. Rather, it was the pressure was you people should go your way. You are not. They are telling us that we are not sure God is in your relationship.
Wow.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, to add to that, the truth is, like you said, our relationship was, and the first thing is, once we got ourselves together, or let me put it this way, our hearts together, we're sure that we wanted to do this. We had prayed, we had done cross-checking. Like I said,
Mm,
we had to carry people along. There were people that we still hold dearly to our hearts today, that the very few that we were really praying. These are men of God, and these are, they might not be pastors, but these are men of God, people we reverse so much, and
mm,
we were really praying. And the first thing is when, like, for them to be praying for us, they already knew about it. Like the Bible says about the disciples, when things happened, they went to their company first to break the news. So we broke the news to our company. And
mm.
the first thing is when it started going around, and we just had a boom. And the next thing is, oh, the crisis just started, it just started brewing from nowhere. And the discouraging thing is, the most fierce attacks and things that happen came from people you, in
Holy.
quote, hold in high esteem and respect. People that we hear things about you, or hear people saying things about you, cannot walk up to you, confront you, but will go behind you to magnify and amplify things that were not true. So for me, a lot of people did not know how to approach me, except a few that were close to me. But they had their way of going around to corner my wife, then my spouse,
Yes.
my fiance then. They were cornering her, and when I wasn't there, they were saying very, very nasty things to her, saying you are desperate, you just wanted a man and all that. And I was at some point was very angry that they weren't calling her at the time I was there. So they were trying to call her at the time, probably that she was defenseless, that she was alone. But as I stand here, as I sit here, none of those people came directly to talk to me. The only people that came to me were maybe people they felt I was close to, that they talked to. So it was like a third party, trying to get information and all that. You understand? So we went through a very crucial time of crisis. So it wasn't even that time to say, okay, let's get married next month. Let's get married next month. Though I had the time I wanted to get married, and I had like a program drawn. Though we needed to shift, but at some point we eventually got married in 2017. And when we got into 2017, I just made up my mind that this year we are
Huh.
getting married. This year
Come
we
on.
are getting married this year, and
See,
I
let
while
me pause
praying.
you there. You see, the reason why I know that this is important is because of what you said about, when people will go to, your wife and talk to her and stuff like that. One of the things I wanted to say to you was, how are you able to cover her? Because it's so important. Because if you, and I can definitely tell you that you were communicating. Because if she wasn't telling you some of the things that were going on, they could have discouraged her and just taking everything all the way down. So, in regards to you insisting that this was the year you were going to get married, as far as I'm concerned, that was you covering her. Because the truth was, she was going through a lot and you were not really there. And I can just genuinely imagine the kind of conversations that would have been going on. And I really did feel at the point when I sort of found out about the whole situation, I really did feel that it was almost as if they felt like nothing good could come out of this. And it's like, who are you to say that? Do you get what I mean? Like, who are you to say that about people that you don't even know them like that? So it's something that I want you to talk about the aspect of having to cover each other while you were in the relationship and then deciding to now get into marriage. So you're sort of on the right track anyway, but I just wanted you to sort of emphasize sort of the role as a guy when you are dating someone and you're getting this kind of feedbacks, especially negative reports. How can you as a man cover the woman in such a way that she's not affected by the people that are sort of instigating things? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Um, it's if you love someone, if you claim to love someone, even for me, let just a friend, I can cover my friend. I can stand and defend my friend, whoever I call my friend. Not to talk more of somebody I wanted to marry at the time, and I said I loved. So I had to stick out my neck for her, because at some point I know I wouldn't pretend that there were no time there were not times that she probably came to me, or I went to her and she was crying. She was like, I'm fed up and all that. And I would encourage her. We would pray together, because that was the only weapon we knew to use. So we'll pray together. I will defend her. I will stand up for her. When people say things and say this lady is desperate, I'll say she isn't desperate. She didn't ask me to marry her. I married her. Some people at some point felt she went diabolical, and they said a whole lot of things. Church people, and say she went diabolical. And I said,
Wow.
if she went diabolical, then she went diabolical with Jesus. And if that part is Jesus, then I think I accept that. I had to stand for her. When people say things to my face, I talk to them, I talk them down, and try to, when it's eventually, because it also went beyond the church. It went to a few people who were very close to us, our friends, some family members at some point, and or people, when people they didn't know how to break into us. They now started
Mm,
using family. They now went to use
around
family.
it.
Yes, they and people were like, people even said it to people they knew could reach us that we weren't going to get married. We're just acting it. We're script playing it, and it wasn't going to happen. And for those who knew us and could talk for us, I think one of those who were very close to us was a church member, and he was the one that was even like the middleman. He was the one that was taking the heat, and that's why that guy's memory will never fade from my heart. So I needed to stand up for her. So I want to talk to the guys, to the men. If you love a lady, you would want to speak up for her. You want to defend her. You want to, if you are sure that that is what God is leading you to do, you want to really what you know, you love, and you want to keep. You will defend. So there's that place. Not only prayer will do it, and you have to always keep talking, but you need to also speak up for her. You need to defend her. And like I was saying the other time, that I needed to say this is the day we're getting married, and it wasn't just that I spoke up for her. Um, it's diplomacy also had to play, because we knew that we couldn't. We were well brought up, and we couldn't marry outside of our parents or family's consent now. So we needed to know those people that could reach those parties, most especially the immediate family, that could help us play the diplomacy well. And I kept knocking those doors. I kept knocking those doors hard. I'll call this pastor or this man of God, this revert brother, this revert sister, aunt. Have you reached to this person? Have you talked to this person? This thing must happen. At some point, they said I was going fast. I said, we have been on this case for a while. I'm not fast. And this is what God is saying. This is what God is saying. This is what God is saying. And a lot of them could share my pains. But we needed to come to that page. We needed to be on the same page that, okay, we are not doing this behind the family. I wasn't, some will say, let us elope and all that. That wasn't it. It had never crossed our mind. At some point, my wife now was saying, then she was saying that, do you think we will not change this church? I said, we will not leave this church, because these same people that are talking about us, they are going to celebrate us tomorrow. Some of these
Hey,
people, we keep staring ourselves in their faces now, and some of them, they really still don't know how to worm their ways back into us to tell us straight to our faces that they want to apologize. Some came, they just came and sneak their way into us and say, after a while, they just say, congratulations, when we just got married, and they wanted to start spiking up discussions and all that. And now these are people that see us today. Even some of them went to the extent that they said that my wife was advanced in age and she couldn't bear. And they were using that against us, that she will not have a baby, she's close to menopause and all that. And I told them that I'm not marrying her because of a baby. I'm
children.
marrying her because
Wow.
she's going to be my companion. And two, I know that if God had done it for people I've heard of, some that I've seen, people that have testified, even in our own church on the altar, that were over 40 at the time, some 50 years old and more. I said, I know that my wife will give birth to not just a child, to children. And here we
That's
are.
it.
Some of them, a lot of them were very
Believe
shocked
him.
when they heard that. And the young man just walked in. And many of them, when they heard that we had a baby, they were very, very, very shocked. But we give thanks to God.
Unbelievable.
Here we are today, giving the testimony of what God has done. The truth was that even people that were supposed to stand with us, they didn't believe that it was God. They said we cooked up stories. And for me, I don't defend myself when it comes to God. When God speaks to me, you weren't there when God was talking to me. You went, we didn't go for a party and God would talk to everybody. God spoke to me, God spoke to her. So if you do not believe what God is saying about me, then it's your own cup of tea. So that is what we went through. A lot of people did not approve of it, but those who were our company, they supported us and they believed in it, and we went for it. Till today, a lot of them, they still celebrate us.
I want to chip in
Wow.
something. I like to
Please.
say something about as a guy standing up for your woman. As in, at a point, the way he stood up for me was part of the reason why they even started saying it's like I used juju on him.
Can you
As in, he
imagine?
shocked me because I knew I was like, I can't believe there are some things that maybe he will even hear I'm not aware, and he will go and confront whoever is involved, or he will tell someone close that they should warn this person. As in, when he even came at a point, was like, he just came and told me that we are going to see your parents this month. We are doing introduction this time. I'll be looking at, I say, are you serious? I said, this thing that me, I'm tired and fed up. He said, this is his plan. And he told me that even if it's the last day in December 2017, that his wedding will not go beyond 2017, no matter what. And he, as in, he just did everything to just like make sure that
Sure
happens.
that
And
happens.
sincerely, like for my family, anytime maybe they talk to me and my very close friends, they will say the way this guy stood up for you, he truly loves you. As in, that's one thing that my family, my siblings, they will tell me, as in, at a point I told him I was not doing again. He told me that as for him, he will fight this to the end, that if this relationship doesn't work, I should know that I'm the one that led to it. But for him, he will fight to the end, and that until the day he sees that I married another person, he'll keep fighting for me. That was what he told me, and I was like, wow. So I think it's good to know what you want and stand up for it. Don't
Mm,
allow anyone talk you out of what you are convinced. It's not only marriage, it could be your career or
Sure.
whatever, or business. What you
yes,
are
yeah.
sure that this is what you are convinced that God is telling you. It doesn't matter who is fighting you. Stand your ground. With time, these same people, like you were talking about people that have been pressurizing to marry wrong people. As they are suffering in that marriage now, are those people that put pressure on them there with them? No.
Nope.
So one has to be careful. Guys, stand up for your woman. And as a woman, be there to also support the guy as he's standing up for you.
That's correct. That's correct. And guys,
Yeah.
we have gone over time, but I just want to say thank you so much. I mean, to be honest, I have heard a little bit here and there about the way Brother Tim stood up for you. And I must say that honestly, I was so humbled when, I sort of found out, your persistence. Your persistence, sir. If Nigeria can have a little bit of that, we know where we could be by now. I'm serious. I really
That's God's
respect.
strength.
I really respected that when I found out, and I genuinely feel like God was really involved in your situation, the way everything happened, and the way things panned out. And so, just to wrap it up, really, what are your final words to all of us here that are watching and those that will watch after this?
What I have to just encourage, especially those that are still single and based on human calendar, they feel you are already getting late. Don't let anyone discourage you. While waiting, develop yourself. Be happy. Don't look moody. Don't give people reason to say you are thinking, you are desperate, you are this. Always be joyful. Take care of you. Don't, as a woman, you don't even have to wait for that husband to be taking care of yourself. Go out, enjoy yourself, socialize, learn new skills, learn new things. You don't even know where the man is coming from. Learn different kind of food from different parts of the country, and outside Nigeria. Just be happy, be yourself. And whatsoever God is telling you in your singleness, hold it tight. It may look foolish to people, but that's what is going to carry you through this period of waiting. Get a word from God and run with it, and all will be well. You are never late. It's human being that say you are late. You are not late.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Um, like she talked about enjoying yourself, and I think I said it earlier. Please, first thing, I'll put it in this order. The first thing is keep serving your God. Keep learning to know God more. There's nothing very tangible outside God. If you must get it right, it is with God. So enjoy serving God. Don't let anybody talk you out of serving God, or somebody saying, look at them, they are even time is going and they're the ones when they say come church program, they will be the first to be there. Enjoy God, enjoy yourself. One of the things that kept us going even in the midst of this was that, like I said, we had a few friends, those who were in Abuja, that we hang out with. We watch, we go to see movies, we go to amusement park, we go to places together, we share the word of God, we pray together. Pray, keep praying. And the thing is, your time is not gone. Nobody is seeking the time for you. When you stay in God's purpose, you are in His time. And when God says 1,000 years is like just an evening gone, God knows what He's saying. And you need to put your trust, your absolute faith in God. Like my wife said, develop yourself in all fronts. Develop yourself, keep developing yourself, and just enjoy yourself. Enjoy your singleness. You never can know. Maybe in the place of enjoying yourself, in the place of going out, don't be moody. I've had people saying, I'm over 30, I'm close to 40, I'm over 40, and they keep locking themselves up in the house. Enjoy yourself, enjoy life. You never can tell where God will bring that person across your path. You might have just gone to see a movie and you just see somebody, and that's where God is telling you, this is the person, and that is all. You might just travel. You can travel to places. The essence, I think the conclusion of the whole thing is, I want to tie it down to God owns time. He owns time in His agenda. So don't be threatened by somebody who got married in their early 20s or maybe late 20s. Enjoy yourself. There's no queue. There's nothing that says that your younger one must marry after you. So enjoy yourself. And when people, another thing, lastly, celebrate people. When they say this person is getting married, celebrate them. Because in you celebrating other people and thanking God through that, God paves a way for you. So let me just end it there. There are a lot of things in my head. There's a lot of things to say. But I want to say, guys, just trust in God, and God will make this happen for you sooner than you expect. Thank you so much, Damaris.
Amen. I want to say thank you so much, Brother Tim. Thank you so much, Sister Anne. Thank you to everybody that has watched. This is something that if you know someone that is struggling, please share this video with them. Let them know that there is still hope. They can still be married. God still has a plan for them. And even if for any reason marriage is not in God's plan for them, God can still use them where they are. And that's really important. And of course, I'm gonna definitely have you guys back. There's no way this is going to be the last time. By the grace of God, please share the links, share with everybody, and next week, same time, we will be back with an amazing man of God who's going to be talking to us. I don't want to spill the beans. You guys don't miss it for anything in the world. Thank you guys so much for being here. God bless you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ma. Thank you to all those.
Thank you.
God bless
Thank
you,
guys. With muchness.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a wonderful
Yes, have an amazing week, everybody. Bye.
You too. Thank you.
No worries.